I'm just going to do a story time for you guys that nobody suggested, but I think is pretty funny. And you know what? It's not funny, but let me just take a sip of my drink because I haven't even tried it yet. Oh my god, it tastes so awful. It's literally Bacardi and lemonade, and they're both like super old. Oh my god, it does not taste like that. It's going to be healthy to drink. Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do a story time for you guys that is very embarrassing to talk about. However, we all make mistakes when we're younger. So, yeah, I got in trouble for shoplifting. Let me tell you about when I was arrested, I guess you could say, for shoplifting. So, first of all, when I was younger, I had maybe like 2 or 3 best friends, and one of them, who I'm still friends with, or I'm like Facebook friends with, I don't know if I'm like really friends with her, that's kind of up in the air. However, so she, not a bad influence, I would say, but, you know, I kind of looked up to her as being like cooler than me, and her friend would shoplift. They would go to the mall and they would, you know, shoplift stuff. And I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be cool like them. And my parents would always give me money when I was going to the mall. You know, at one point, actually, that friend went through my purse and she was like, how do you have $80? And I'm like, oh, my mom gave me, you know, some money to go to the mall with. And even though I was like always like, I never needed anything. So I didn't like go to the mall and really buy things. But I would, you know, I always had money. My parents always gave me what I wanted. And just, I wanted to be a bad girl. You know, I wanted that just adrenaline rush, and I wanted to do what the cool kids were doing. So I would go shoplifting with that friend, and I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell like other friends. And then when I wasn't with that friend, I would go to the mall by myself and I would shoplift. I, for the life of me, can't even tell you what I shoplift. Probably like maybe earrings, maybe like I don't know. But I got in trouble with a bracelet, but I don't even know what I would shoplift, just crazy stuff. But it was almost like a hobby. And I can't tell you how many things I shoplifted, and I can't tell you what possessed me to do this. I think I was just very stupid. I mean, I like look back at it and I'm like, God, was I stupid. So the day that I got caught was really weird because I think that I wanted to get caught. I mean, I know that sounds really strange, but even that day, I think that I just wanted to get caught. I think I wanted to shoplift because I wanted to get in trouble, because I wanted my parents to know. But I don't know, because I didn't really want to get in trouble. Maybe I did. Maybe I was sick of doing the whole shoplifting thing. I think I was doing it for attention, but then when my parents didn't really know that I was doing it or didn't really question what I was doing, I think maybe that like made me, I don't know. But the day that I shoplifted, it was from JCPenney. And I took this bracelet and I literally like was looking at a cashier person and put it in my pocket as I was looking at her, and then walked out the door. Just like really crazy, just like very weird. And then like as soon as I did it, like these people came up to me and then like brought me to this like back room. And I was very young. I mean, I was 10 years old. So they started questioning me, and the guy was like screaming at me. You know, it's like a mall cop. They're not like real cops. But I was still very scared because I was so young. And they were like, how old are you? And I'm like 10. And they're like, oh my God, she's 10. Like just like couldn't believe how young I was. And then, you know, there wasn't like, I didn't have a cell phone at that point. 10-year-olds didn't have cell phones back then. So they, you know, they were like, well, when is your parents coming? And that, you know, I said my parents are coming at this time. They're going to be meeting me at this place. So then when they took me out, they like literally handcuffed little 10-year-old Kristen and like, you know, marched me outside to my parents' car. And my parents were just so embarrassed, and my brothers were in the car, and like my, you know, also when I was like trying to get out of this lie, I was like saying a lot of bad things, probably like about my family, because I thought that if these people felt guilty or they felt bad for me, they might let me go or might not tell my parents. So I was like, please, like, we don't have any money. We don't have money for food. We don't have money for, you know, like our bills. We're losing our house. Like, I was just, none of that stuff was true. But I really thought that if I said enough stuff that made these people feel bad for me, they might let me go. But then my parents rolled up in this very nice car, and like clearly looked like, they had been eating. And so the people, didn't believe me at all. But yeah, so I got in trouble because of my age. I had to pay a $500 fine to JCPenney's, and I had to say that I would never go in JCPenney's again, which who the hell wants to even go in JCPenney's? So don't worry about that at JCPenney's. I don't care. It's funny too, is when they were like, when I was getting in trouble for this, the guy was like, you can never, he was telling me the terms, and you have to like sign some paper saying you'll never go back in the store. And they said, you can never go back to JCPenney's. And I was like, well, can I shop online? And the guy's face was kind of like, and he's like, yes, you can still shop online. You just can't go in the store. I don't know. Just, funny things that happen to you when you're being arrested at 10 years old for shoplifting. So, I get in this, okay. So you send this paper, that they yell at you. They like kind of like bring you through the mall handcuffed because they want other people to see you. And then my parents, my mom was just, 'cause my parents are not like disciplinary people. They've never been disciplinary people. They were, my mom was like, oh my God, why would you do this? Why, like really, why would you do this? And I was like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And so I had to go to this like class, which was like for juvenile delinquents, and I was 10, and most of the people in the class were like 17. So they're all like adults pretty much, and I'm like a child. So you had to talk about just stuff that was like going on in your life, and you had to talk about, like what you did and all of this stuff. And I just was so stupid. The whole class was just so ridiculous. But I had to pay like a $500 fine, which my parents paid, and I had to go to this class, and then I had to do community service too, which was like feeding the homeless and helping out at this other place, which my mom went with me and like did it with me because I was so young, probably wouldn't have been a good idea to have like a 10-year-old at a soup kitchen by herself. So I'm trying to think about anything else that came from that. That friend that shoplifted all the time, I remember her being like, oh my God, I can't believe you were stupid enough to get in trouble doing that. And I think her and that other friend that I knew, that was a friend of hers, I think they stopped doing it because of me, getting in trouble. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that my mom was like very embarrassed about it. My mom and my dad were really embarrassed about it. However, I was 10 years old. I was just a child. Kids do stupid things. Hasn't changed me as an adult. Okay, so here are some of the things that I think may have affected me because of that. Whenever I go into a store, well, first of all, I've never, shoplifted since then, but whenever I go into a store, I'm always very scared about, even if I'm not shoplifting, because I'm not shoplifting, but even though I'm not shoplifting, in my mind, I'm still like, oh my God, are people watching me? Do they think I'm shoplifting? Like if I have multiple bags. Also, I've worked in retail for a really long time. So I know all of like the retail, theft prevention that you do. So whenever I have like a lot of bags or I have stuff with me, I'm always kind of like, oh my God, do people think I'm stealing? I hope they don't think that and then I'm like, what if something falls in my bag? Like what if I hit something and it falls in my bag? Like I get scared kind of about stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really think that it like affected me in any way. If anything, it was probably, good that I got caught. It was probably good that all of that happened. So yeah, if you guys liked the story time, please give it a thumbs up. Please like it. Please leave any comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, leave me any stories if you guys, got in trouble when you were younger doing stupid little kid things. But definitely don't shoplift. If you are shoplifting now, please don't do that. I know for a lot of people it is like a way of life. I wasn't ever like that. I, did it in a much smaller, scheme of things. But yeah, stealing, it affects different people. It affects everything. It doesn't just affect the person. If you think, oh, I'm stealing from a big company, that's not true. It really affects everyone when you do that. All right, well, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.